Hello everyone, how's it going? I am the Average Guy 1983, and today I'm going to go ahead and be doing a video for you guys on how I'm going to be doing my custom panel here for my Ford Flex to be able to put the gel audio DRC-205 knobs and the AudioControl Epicenter knob here. To be able to make this plate, what I had to do was I had to cut the edge, the whole pocket in the rear off, because the stock one has like a pocket here in the middle, and right around this edge here from this side this way it had a cigarette lighter or 12-volt connector, and I had originally removed the cigarette lighter. I added a JL logo and I had put the Epicenter knob as well as the gel audio DRC-100, but it turns out the gel audio stopped showing the DRC-100 support for the Tweak 88, so I had to remove it. I also wasn't sure whether I was going to get the VXI amplifiers at the time, so that's why I bought the DRC-100, but I've had it for a very long time without even using it because, like I mentioned in the previous video, it took me almost 2 years to get all the gear that I'm supposed to use for my full active system in my Ford Flex. So without any further ado, let me go ahead and show you guys how I did this. So basically what I did was I grabbed a grinder with a cutting disc, and I went over this line here straightforward like this. I also put it on the side here. I did the same thing to try to keep a straight cut as possible. And in the bottom here, so let me see if I can turn this up a little bit here and also adjust the brightness. I made sure not to go over this line right here, because these clips that are here, these 3 clips that you see here, they're needed so that they can be able to clip back into the center console where the shift knob is at. So make sure not to cut that if you do that. So kind of try to do it like this if you're going to do your own in the future. But remember that you are going to need something similar to a router table with a router bit in order to be able to make the faceplate. So I made a faceplate here out of wood. This is a 1/4 inch thick wood, and I purchased a sheet, very small sheet of 1/8 inch thick ABS plastic. One side is slightly more glossier than the back end. The back end is flat. The front is a little tiny bit glossier, like an eggshell color. So it has a plastic protector on it to be able to do that. So I'm gonna have the shiny part facing the front of that that thing over there that I'm gonna be using for the knob, and the back end is gonna be flat where I can put in my marker marks to permanent marker marks, so that I can be able to evenly align all 3 knobs and put them on. So let me go ahead and drop down this camera here, and I'll fix it in the direction so you guys can see how I'm going to do it. Now if you guys can see right here, I decided to go ahead and draw with the Sharpie the direction in which my router spins. I have a DeWalt DW618 router. It's a 2.25 horsepower motor, and when you have it underneath the table for a router, it spins counterclockwise. When you have it at the top out of a router table, like where you're just using it free-handed, it goes clockwise. So the rule of thumb is to have this go in a counterclockwise direction or clockwise direction. So the blade is spinning this way, this has to go in this direction for the cut. You have to go against the direction of wherever the router bit is spinning. So I'm going to demonstrate that for you guys today. So let's go ahead and get this started. Alright, I hope you guys can see that okay. I had to zoom in, so zooming in kind of made the video kind of grainy. The point of this is to get this to basically lay here, and as you guys can kind of see the blade here, the blade is only touching the bottom of the plastic, and these little wheels that spin back and forth are touching the plate that I want to transfer. So what this bit does is it copies whatever's on top of a sheet. This is only good for a 1/4 inch. If you want to do a 1/2 inch, you need to get the one that has the 4 little wheels on it. This one only has 2 to cover a 1/4 inch. So I have to purchase another wheel like this one in that same 1/4 inch size to be able to do the 1/2 inch thick router speaker bracket that I have to do. But anyways, let me go ahead and turn this on so I can show you guys how this is going to work. And I'm going to do it this way so you guys can see it. I have my motor on speed 3, which is about 12,000 RPMs. Depending on the kind of router bit you use will also determine on what speed you should have it set up. The lowest speed on my router goes from 8,000. The maximum, which is number 8, goes to 24,000. So right now it's at about 12,000 on number 3. So let's do this, and hope you guys can bear the noise. I hope that my router wasn't too loud for you guys, but that's how it's done. And now we can go ahead and remove all the stuff. And the bad thing about working with a plastic router is that you get a lot of static. But here is what it looks like. See that? So it did an exact trace. And now I can go ahead and remove it from this template that I did. But to do that, I'm gonna need something to pry it off, because the Mobile Solutions tape works really well on flat surfaces. So let me go ahead and grab that, and then I'll go ahead and remove the template from the actual product. Alrighty guys, so I decided to grab my painter's paint scraper. Mobile Solutions has their own little version of something like this to be able to easily pry off plastic without scraping it. But this is very similar, and I already have this, so in the future I probably will get some more stuff from Mobile Solutions. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and stick with what I have here to work with, because again, you know, a lot of the viewers that I have, a lot of you guys don't actually have these tools, and it's very understandable. So I figured, you know, I just show you guys how I'm doing this. But again, I'm just carefully prying off the tape off of the back of this panel, and it does take a bit because I put 5 strips of tape, and I need to make sure that I get to all of it. There you go. So apparently if you use the Mobile Solutions stuff, it will be much easier to pry off. As to will it? I don't know. It probably would, it probably wouldn't. But let's use my method here. Oh, there we go. Actually, I use 4 strips of tape. Here's the Tesla tape. I mean, not Tesla tape, the template tape. Just so you guys can see how that works. And here's the panel. This can be used for future stuff, which is awesome. So I'll put that on the side. And let me go ahead and remove this tape for you guys. And I don't want to remove the tape from the front quite yet until I make my holes. And I'm going to make the holes in the back for the bass knobs, or the DRC-205s that I just got, which I showed you guys in the last video, as well as the the AudioControl Epicenter Knob, which is an ARC-1, So let me go ahead and finish taking this off real quick. Okay, so I took it off, and this is what the back side looks like. See how it's kind of scratched up? And if you take a look at the front, if I just take a little bit off of it, the front is more glossy. You see that? So it's still a kind of a flat finish, more of an eggshell versus the back. See that? So I'm gonna go ahead and just cover this back up, try to remove all the air bubbles, and I'll install this at the very end. But let's go ahead and practice fit this on this panel so you guys can see. This is the top, this is the bottom, and this is the front. So we're just gonna do it like this. And look at that. So all we need to do is just scoot this as far back as possible. Just like that. So you guys can see that. And go. See how it's right at the edge? So we need to make sure it remains that way. And the same thing on this side, right at the edge. So that's covered completely. And this is what the plate is going to look like. See that? And there are some gaps on the edges, but not to worry. That goop stuff, or that slurp, ABS slurp, will cover that, and it shouldn't be a big issue. But that's it. It's pretty simple. It looks ugly right now because, again, this is the back side, so I actually have to turn it around and put it in this direction, so that when I actually put the tape on, it will look like that. And I just remove the little plastic tape from here so that this can glue on. And see how there's less gaps now because of the way it's shaped? There's hardly any gaps now on this thing because it's made the way it's supposed to. Now on the back, it will go like this. And what I would do here is I would get like a ruler similar to something like the plate here, and I would align this edge here with this edge here in this manner, like this or something like that, and match up the bottom to the top, and that'll be a straight line. Then I would do the same thing on this side and match that up. So I'm gonna do that right now for you guys. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, and we're back. I apologize for not filming this part. Basically, like you can see here, I did some marks, like exactly like I just said I was gonna do, to kind of even out and make the holes as even as possible by measuring the back of this area here where this is supposed to go. So I pre-drilled the holes so I don't have to do it later, but it would go like this. Wait a minute, let me put it in from the inside. Oops, came off again. Okay, here we go, much better. Alright, so it would work like this, where this area here will be right at this edge. Now it's supposed to be closer to the inside there, just like that. The other side is supposed to also meet more against the wall there, just like that, the edge of the plastic piece. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and now that I have this set up, this plastic I can start removing from the inside, or at least from the edges. And then I'm going to be using what I had said earlier, which is basically ABS slurp, but this is called weld on, and weld on will work just as good here. So I hope you guys can see that, and I'll show you guys the trace marks. See that? Trace marks from the bottom, so that it can match the top and they can be evenly split out. And there's plenty of space between the 1-inch gap that you need from the top here for the round knob. For the DRC-205, there's enough space to turn it, and the same thing on this side, and there's plenty of space in the middle to turn the Epicenter knob on whenever there's, you know, some songs that don't have any bass. So now what I'm going to do, now that I have this area all nice and cleaned up, I'm going to go ahead and start adding the Weld-On 773 ABS It's already in the black color, which is great. Get a close-up of that. This is what I'm using. It's a tiny little 1/4 inch pint. It's 4 ounces. It was about, you know, about $5 or so with shipping and taxes. Shipping was free because I had it shipped to the store from Home Depot. So all we gotta do now is just open it up. Now when you first buy this, it is really tightly shut, so you would need like some kind of vice grips or something that are big enough, or like a plumber's wrench to like open this up here and get it open. But once you get it open, it'll be much easier. So let me go ahead and open this up, and as you guys can see right here, it also has, it already has the a little paintbrush built into it. So all we got to do now, and it's strong, it smells very strong. All this is here, guys, is just acetone and pieces of ABS plastic. You can make your own with acetone and some ABS plastic pieces. Just cut them up. You could put them into a clear glass jar that is sealable, kind of like those ones that they use for the moonshine. You can use something like that to be able to make your own. It takes about 24 hours for the acetone to melt the ABS plastic, and it has several months of shelf life. So now we're going to go ahead and come over to this edge here, and I'm going to start applying this stuff on the edges, just like you see here. Just apply it on the edges. Make sure I don't touch it with my hands as I apply it, and this will cover all of this up for me, so I don't have to worry about making any of these mistakes or anything like that. It should stick on just like that, and it should easily melt this on. I could already smell it literally melting it, and there you go. Alright, and that's pretty much it there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this right here, and I'm going to let it melt, basically dry up overnight. Give it 24 hours for it to melt. Well, not melt, but like, you know, cure. And everything should be fine after that. So, alright guys, sorry for that video cut out as I was trying to finish talking, and my phone's at 15%. So I let this cure for about 30 minutes, and it is basically dry to the touch, but I'm gonna let it sit overnight, and then I'm gonna add a little bit more of this gloppy stuff on the edge here, wherever it looks like it actually needs it. Just add it there around the bottom here too. So basically from here to this side, and from here to about this side right here, and then finish it off, and hopefully that should be good enough. So let me just show you how it is. It's pretty much already dry. It's like dry to the touch, and it looks like it's sturdy. The point of this this stuff is to have ABS plastic bond to each other, and this is better than using the Mobile Solutions glue. And I know it looks ugly, but nobody's gonna see this once it gets installed. Here's how the inside looks though. Hopefully you guys can see that. Kind of. There you go. So this will be on the inside, and once it sticks onto the gearbox, where the gearbox normally goes, it should look quite nice, especially with the illuminated DRC knobs as well as the Epicenter, and yeah, it should look really nice. So I'll come back to this tomorrow. I'm gonna leave this overnight again, like I said, just to let it cure overnight, and we'll check it out tomorrow. So I'll see you guys in just a bit. Right now it's really dark. It's also raining outside here in Cali. So it's also, let me see, what time is it? I can't even tell what time it is because my camera won't let me see. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and stop here, and we'll continue this in a bit. Alright everyone, and we're back, and as you guys can see, it is now daylight. It did stop raining about, I'm gonna say 4 a.m. in the morning. So we still have some, you know, some clouds that are coming this way for rain. We have a lot of rain coming. So let's go inside of my basement here, and we're gonna go ahead and see how that thing turned out. So I did added more of that gloppy stuff, and it turns out it's not called ABS slurp, so I apologize for that. It is called ABS slurry, so SLURRY. So I apologize sincerely for giving you any misinformation, but I figured I would clear it out on the video and own up to it. But anyways, it's right there. I left my tripod right there facing down. So I have a big mess in this thing, but I plan on turning this basement into my little shop for all of my car audio stuff and other house projects that I do. I'm gonna go the Mark from Car Audio Fabrication way. However, I can't afford to buy stuff from IKEA like the way he did, spending thousands and having professional installation. So I'm gonna go with Home Depot and buy the Hampton Bay brand. I found some really nice kitchen cabinets in white, some of them with drawers and some of them without, and they're under 300 bucks. So if I buy a few of them, I should be able to cover this up. All this grayish color wall here that you see here, I'm gonna paint it in a gloss white to have that 3 LED thing going off. You see how I have this LED light? I changed out my light to one of these, and I highly recommend these crazy fancy looking LEDs. It makes the whole like kitchen the whole basement light up. But anyways, enough of this tour thing. Let's go ahead and check how this thing turned out. So, oh wow, this thing is like dry to the touch and it's like hard plastic. Not sure if you guys can see that. Hold on real quick. Let me go ahead and put you guys on my tripod here, and I'll show you guys this thing. Alrighty, here we go, guys. So check this out, man. This turned out great, even though it does look ugly, man. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it looks ugly. Like, I don't know if I was to do this professionally, if I would be able to get away with this with the customer, doing something like this. However, it's solid, man. This stuff, look, it turned hard like plastic, and that's exactly what I wanted it to do. On the inside, nothing leaked through. Everything worked out fine here. Now there are some scratches on this part of the panel. I might be able to remove that with a dry erase, not a dry erase, one of those magic erasers. I might be able to use that to polish it off, or it might even cover up with the Epicenter knob. So we'll be installing the knobs in a little bit and installing this in the car in this same exact video. But yeah, this came out great, man. If you guys can see it pretty good there, see that inside there? Now it's gonna go in like this, so you're not really gonna be able to see the top end or anything like that, but it should come out really nice looking. But this came out good. Now if I go here and I'm gonna try to push it out, this is solid, man. I'm like applying a lot of pressure. I'm not sure if you see my hands shaking from applying pressure, but yeah, look, this is solid. Yeah, it's not even pushing out. So I highly recommend this stuff, man. This is called, again, it's called Weld On 773 ABS. So it's the same as ABS Slurry. So I apologize once again, it's not ABS Slurp, it's ABS Slurry, and it's the same stuff. It's basically acetone liquid with ABS plastic pieces mixed in. Takes about 24 hours to make, and it turns it into this liquidy stuff that you can apply to ABS plastic, and it will bond it together. It basically melts the ABS plastic together and bonds it just like this. But this came out great, so now I don't have to worry about if I push in the little knob, because the DRC-205s, they have a preset knob. So it's a three-way. So you got the knob that turns the outer knob that turns the volume or fader. You have the smaller knob in the middle, which controls the volume, and then if you push the button in, it changes presets that you yourself set up on the software before you upload it to the Tweak 88. So this is awesome. So let me go ahead and show you guys how to install the knobs onto this thing here. I'm going to install one, and we'll go. Meant to say, and we'll go from there, but the video cut off at the 5-minute mark, so sorry about that. So we're outside in my backyard right now. I decided to reuse my router table out here because the other table that I have over there is very dirty and it also has water, so I do need a new table. I got that one for free when my in-laws moved out of their old house. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I hope you guys can see this. We're only going to need a 10mm socket for the AudioControl. Either it's ARC-1 or ACR-1. I'm not sure which one it is, what the number is, but yeah, we're gonna use it for that, for the little bolt that goes for this knob. So let's start off though with the first DRC-205, which I have right there out of 2. We're gonna start with the first one. I hope you guys can see that clearly because I have a glare on my screen, even though my screen is already at its maximum brightness. I apologize for that. So let's go ahead and take out this knob already. And we're not going to be using this wire that's here. We're going to be using Cat 6 5-foot cable. So let's go ahead and remove this knob. Now remember, the back of the cable has to be like this on the behind the panel. So when it's like this with the cable down and you have the knobs facing in the 7 o'clock direction, that is the correct way to install it. It's the same thing for the AudioControl knob as well. This one, see how it has this little thing in the bottom here with the heat shrink? This has to be facing in the bottom area, not the top or the side, in the bottom, in order for the knob to be at the same thing, 7 o'clock direction, so that it can be considered off. So just, you know, keep that in mind. I also have to get that little washer that's there, and because I didn't know that the bag was open, but I'll take care of that in a little bit. But for right now, let's install this one. So here we go, guys. First thing you want to do is remove the top knob. Apply some pressure, just not too much pressure, to move it out, and try to use your thumbs to like push against this knob and pull up at the same time. So like this, see that? We got one knob off, put it to the side. Second knob again, push in here with these 2 fingers, push out, and that gets that knob off. The next part is going to be this black plastic washer. This is a black plastic like nut, and it has to be hand tightened. If you use any pliers, you're going to damage the plastic on here, so they recommend that you hand tighten it. The other knob that I have for this was actually so tight with this that this part, remember I told you that this part can move, is probably to replace it in case it breaks, but this part actually loosened up along with this washer together, so I had to use pliers to like loosen up, hold on to this part while the other one would get loosened up in order to loosen it from the other knob. So this is going to go down here in the bottom like this, and again it is a 5/8 inch of a hole, so I know that's a really big hole, but there you go. It would go in like this. Make sure that the knob wire is facing straight down, and then we can go ahead and attach this washer just like that. And again, you want to hand tighten it only, hand tightened, just like that. And make sure that the knob is facing straight as you tighten it up. But again, hand tightened only. There you go. It's straight and it's now on. See that? And this is how much space you have left when it comes to the gapping. So they recommend the maximum you use of a panel is a 1/4 inch, but I would say stick with 1/8, because otherwise you'll have a really hard time tightening this together. So now we can go ahead and install this ring on. And again, it has some teeth in the back to align this little area here that you see there. There's tooth on each side, and then we're just gonna put it down here like this. Make sure it aligns. It's pressed in already, so now you can see the knob turning. Do the last one, same 7 o'clock direction, just like this, and there you go. It's already done. You see that? The knob is put on, and if you can see real closely here, it is nice and flushed, and the knob turns very easily. See that? Bottom knob turns too, and the back is straight, just like that. So there you have it. See that? That's one knob. I'm going to go ahead and install the Epicenter knob for you guys now, and I'm going to get that washer from there real quick. So let me see if I can pull it with this. Yep, there we go. Alrighty, let's get started with that. Let's make it as quickly as possible because these 5-minute increment videos kind of suck. Been looking into investing in one of those DSLR cameras, but they're so pricey. So I am not sure how I want to go when it comes to this route. Especially since like my videos, again, like I had mentioned before, I'm not doing this to make money. I'm doing this just for educational purposes and entertainment, you know. I'm not trying to invest in money. So this little washer will go on the inside of here first, just like that. In any direction is fine. Then this will go underneath right here. You guys can see that? Underneath here, just like that. And make sure that this part is straight. And then now we're going to go ahead and apply the second washer, which is a black washer. You guys can see that. You know. And then we're going to go ahead and attach this washer here like that. Hand tighten it a little bit. And make sure that this little part is down straight. Just like that. Let's see here. There we go. Just like that. And then we're going to grab this 10mm socket. Insert it here. And then tighten it up. Now it might turn the little knob in the bottom. So if it does, just try to straighten it up as you're tightening it. See that? How it's still kind of moving down there? So let me go ahead and just hold it like this. There we go. That's done. Simple as that. See how it's straight? So now we got to install the light. Now I used a custom little socket. I don't have the original little knob that goes on here, so I use this little tiny washer, and I forgot what size this was. The light though, it's a ice blue color to match my interior lighting. And that is in a that is actually in an ice blue color, and it's a 3mm or 3mm light color. So what you want to do is you want to first pull out the light from the socket here, and you want to insert it into this little light socket, and you want to push it as far in as you can, just like that, so that the washer can go in just right in here. And then you want to push it in with your nails if you have any. You want to be as careful as possible so you don't break the little teeth that are on here. Hope you guys can see that. Oh boy, that's going to be a little hard for me to show you guys. But you have to make sure that the light in here, little socket, doesn't get damaged. There we go. You see that? It is now pressed in. I hope you guys can see that. And now I can go from the back and reattach the wire. The wire goes, the long side is red, the white side is negative, which is white. And just plug that in here. Just like that. And that's done. It's out of the way. See that? Now we have the light installed. We'll push it back in again, just like that. And that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and install the other one now, the other knob. It's the same method as this one, so I'm going to stop the video here, and then we're going to go and install this in the car on the next footage. Oh, hold on a minute. I forgot to mention this little knob. This is a HDRLC base knob. This is an aluminum knob. And it works for the AudioControl Epicenter knob as well. So we gotta fix this at the 7 o'clock direction and then press it on just like that, and now we have the knob installed. See that? So there you go. Forgot to mention that, so I apologize for that. Alright, now let's go ahead and get to the other part of the video. Alrighty guys, and we're back now. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how I'm gonna be installing the base knobs into the vehicle. So what I have here in the back is the original cables that obviously come with the thing. It's about I'm gonna say close to 2.5 to 3 feet long. The JL cables here that you see here in the back, and then this white phone cable, keyboard. I meant to say cable. It is 7 feet long, because I don't need it that long. I actually only needed like a 5-footer, but I couldn't find any, so I went to Best Buy and I got this one right here. Hopefully you guys can see that good. There you go. And for this one here, the SKU number on Best Buy's website is SKU 6406529. Once again, SKU number for this one, if you need it, 6406529. It was under $10 for this cable, so I see it as a good investment, especially if you're not trying to like travel the cable all the way to the trunk. In my case, I'm doing it underneath the seat. So I'm gonna go ahead and run these cables through here. Let's go ahead and look in the bottom here and zoom in a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see that there. Here we go. Let me turn this radio down before I get a copy strike. So ignore the little chime. We're gonna go ahead and just clip it on there. Hopefully you guys can see there. Let me try to turn it up a little bit. There you go. See how the little thing's on there? So now we're just gonna clip this on. We have to run these wires in through the dash. I should have pre-ran them in here. Anyways, it's okay. Just cram them in there. One's gonna go on one side and the other one is gonna go on the opposite side with the base knob for the epicenter. There we go. I will get this out when I pull out the side panel. Here's the other side. This one is gonna go this way in this direction. So I have to make sure that I take it out. There we go, see that? I pulled it. Alright, so now I'm gonna go ahead and just simply clip it on. So if you guys are watching, you see how that looks? So all you gotta do now is just press it in the bottom and the top, just to make sure it stays put. There you go, you see that? Bam! That's it. And that's the knob there, you see that? Let me go ahead and move the camera off, and this is what it looks like. No, this is dirty. I gotta clean that up. But that's how it looks. Sorry about my Fred Flintstone foot there. But this will be the radio here. And at the very bottom, the knobs. And as you can see here, I can simply turn the knob with no problem. Same thing with this one. Press it in for preset changes. What sucks is that if I change a preset here, I also have to push it here to change the preset on both front and rear. So this will control the front A-pillar speakers and the door speakers, front and rear. This, I'm not sure if I'm going to assign it to anything or not, because I don't really need fader control when it comes to this part. On this one here, this one is going to control the E-pillar speakers. This one here will control the bass or the subwoofer volume. Okay, and again, the button for the presets that I would have to evenly combine for both. They have to be identical. And then right here is the epicenter knob, the potentiometer, or whatever you want to call it. And as I turn it up, the light will bright up. It'll get brighter, but it's all going to be in that same ice blue color that you see here that I have on my LEDs. And at the top here, I also did some output meters, the SMD OM-1s. I'll be using one for the mids and highs and the other one for the subwoofer, and the center will be the voltage meter. The power will be connected to the main fuse distribution block for the amplifiers coming to the battery. So that's another thing. To make the holes here, I recommend that you use an X-Acto knife to cut the fabric. Don't use a drill, because you're going to mess up the fabric. But that's about it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace for now.